Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin Davis. You're in the van today and we're on the road for another review. This is the Aomway Commander V1S review on the Drone Camps channel, and I'm kind of comparing them a little bit to the Sky Zone 03s that I have. Those are like $400, but there's a lot of different goggles out there right now, and if you're looking for something that is kind of a good deal, but it's going to give you a lot of the benefits and features that the more expensive goggles have, like the $400 and $500 pair of goggles. I know the new Fat Shark Attitude V5s are coming with the OLED screens, but I hear from certain people that it's not really worth the extra money to spend on the OLED screens versus the LCD. So if you can deal with that, you're looking for the best budget pair of goggles right now, it's probably going to be the V1S from Aomway. The Commander V1S have everything on here that you need. They have diversity, they have upgraded antennas already on here with your patch antenna on the right hand side, and you have a nice clover leaf on this side. I've used this same style antenna for years and years, maybe over 3 years, on aircraft and on goggles, and they always perform really well. I've actually used these on long range wings, and this particular antenna right here has great reception. So I think this is a pretty good pair up for what you get out of the box. You get a little bit better antennas out of the box with the Aomways than you do the Sky Zones. You can see the Sky Zones, I switched those over to the Fox Ear antennas. If you have not tried this combo yet, you got to try these. The new Lollipop 3 is out, and the Fox Ear Echo. This is about an 8 dB patch antenna that's really awesome. Great penetration, and every time I try to take and put a different set of antennas on here, I end up putting these back on here because these have a much better reception and less breakup in my FPV video. But let me go ahead and put these Aomway Commander V1S on the bench here for you. Let me show you what they're all about. I think they're probably about the best budget pair of goggles with built-in fan, DVR, and all the bells and whistles on here with no extra additives to have to buy, like an external module, extra antennas, and things like that. So all you need to do really is just get an SD card, plug in your battery, and go fly with these. So let's go ahead and start the review on the Aomway Commander V1S. Here we go. Okay guys, let's just go ahead and break these goggles down and get this review started. The V1S came to me, like I said, a couple weeks ago, and I'm very happy to be able to show you these on the channel and just show you a little bit of DVR footage as well. I also tested these out on like 25 milliwatt just to kind of punish them and see how much reception they would actually get back out into a large field with my Cinepro 4K from Gep RC. It was looking pretty good there, even on 25 milliwatt. If you cranked it up even more, you're going to get great reception on these antennas, because I have used these type of antennas for years and years, and I believe these are like $10 if you need to replace this. They're ultra durable, probably the most durable cloverleaf antenna out there on the planet, and they have a really nice reception. Probably one of the most underrated, least talked about antennas out there on the planet. Super nice antennas, even for a long range use. I've been out 3 miles with these, so a very good cloverleaf antenna, and a pretty high dB patch antenna over here on the right hand side of the goggles. Now they do come with some pretty cool features, and we're just going to talk about those features, and we're going to talk about it in everyman speak. We're not going to get super technical and put you guys to sleep. I'm going to talk about the good stuff about these goggles, and maybe, you know, the not so great stuff as well, in comparison to my Sky Zones that I've been lovingly flying for quite some time. They do have a field of view on these at 32 degrees diagonal for the screens. They are LCD screens, and the resolution on these is around 854 pixels by 480 pixels. The nice thing about this is that you can go into the menus quite easily by hitting the mode button right here. You can adjust the brightness and contrast, color ratios, and everything, so you can brighten these up to your liking. Also, it looks like they have support for diopters, so you see these little slots right here. If you wear glasses and you need to order specialized diopters, you could have these ordered and then put your inserts in there and not have to wear your glasses while you're flying FPV. That's a huge advantage. Fat Sharks also have the same option, and a lot of people buy Fat Sharks for that option if you do wear glasses. And if you don't wear glasses, you really don't have to worry about it. They also feature modes such as 2D version, which is your typical flat screen 2D flying for FPV. They also support 3D module flying, which is going to make the screens look blurry unless you have one of those little funky 2-camera stereoscopic cameras which see sort of a 3D FPV view. It's kind of cool. I've done it on fixed wing, but never so much on quads. You also have an upgraded module inside here running full diversity for both of these antennas. The new firmware on here supports more channels than the old V1 version. It had 40 channels on there, and these babies have 64 channels available, so that's a nice upgrade. Also, it has a built-in analog DVR, which I love, because check this out, you even have a button for DVR right there, which is super nice. If you press and hold on this, it'll bring you into your playback menu. You can scroll up and down, because this is also a joystick, up, down, left, and right, and push down to select a video and start playing. You also have, not up top, but on the bottom, you have a built-in fan. So it's kind of tucked away down here, and this fan is much quieter than my Sky Zone fan. Sometimes people are flying next to me and they're like, man, what's that noise? And it's this gigantic fan right here on the Sky 03s right here. You can turn these off, by the way, just by pressing the power button on the side, but this is a nice set of goggles because they are, number one, cheaper. This one's a $400 set. I had to upgrade the antennas, but the nice thing about both of these versus Fat Shark, and the biggest value out there, is because you don't have to put any external module in either set of these goggles. So that's why a lot of times I just fly Sky Zones, because I don't need something like rapid fire. I don't need to spend an extra $100 on the Furious FPV True DX or anything like that. I just fly these built-in modules, and I use them for everything from freestyle to long range flying. And I've been miles and miles out with this type of antenna. I put it on fixed wing aircraft, and this is a super robust antenna and very, very good for reception, and probably, yeah, the most durable antenna I've ever used out there. And it doesn't even have a cover on it. They can take some real serious punishment. Now over on the left hand side, you have an SD card slot. This micro SD card slot will probably accept something up to about 64 gigabyte. Be careful if you put something too big in here. If you put something like a 128 and you press record over here on your DVR, if you press and hold on the DVR, it will bring up the REC on the screen. And I guess the difference between these and the Sky Zone goggles is that you see REC up at the top of the screen while you're flying, and it's kind of flashing there. And that's one thing that I probably don't like about these versus the Sky Zone. The Sky Zone, it comes up in the top left hand corner and it momentarily disappears after you start recording. The only bad thing about that is that you could accidentally press stop and not know that you were not recording your flight. So I have done that with the Sky Zones. These goggles are going to let you know that it's recording, and when you're done, you can press that button again and it'll stop the recording for you. Over here, you see your channels and band all on one button right there, and the Sky Zones actually have channel and band on two separate buttons. Some people like it to be two separate buttons, but this is just the difference that I'm showing you here, is that if you long press on the channel and band button there, it will change the bands. If you short press on it, it'll change your channels 1 through 8. We have a headphone jack here. We also have an optional top strap that goes around the top of your head. I usually take that off because I don't like the way it feels over top of my head. And you have the option for a barrel connector. Comes along with it. You can feed it through this little loop right here, and it comes back to your balance lead connector. Plug that in, your 3S battery right here, or your 2S battery right here. You can just remove this little plug and use either one of these ports. But it also says that it does support 4S batteries, so 2, 3, and 4S support for the V1S, which I think is a really good value. Cool, because if you already have a bunch of 4S 1300s laying around, why not just get the extra long cable? I'll try to put a link down below for one of those. And then you can put that 4S battery in your pocket, or the 3S 2200 should last you an entire weekend of FPV with these goggles. Now on the bottom of these goggles, you have a few more things. Let me just zoom in here just a little bit. We have IPD adjustment right here, and if I hold them up, you can see that it moves the screen side to side, and that brings the screens into focus for whatever your eyesight is. So everybody's eyesight's different, and so it'll be different IPD adjustment for your eyesight. And it does support 59 millimeters to 69 millimeters of IPD adjustable range on these goggles. And the nose port right here, didn't press on my nose super hard. I feel like the foam on these goggles might be a little bit less quality looking than the Sky Zone. Foam seems to be a little nicer. This seems to be a little bit chintzier, probably wear out quicker, but these are also cheaper. And where I had to mod these to fit my head. There was no modding with these. I had no light leak issues with the Aomway Commander V1S. So that's a good report. And they also give you an extra piece of foam in your box, and they come off just like that. So they're easy to replace. And I usually replace these about every 6 months because sweat and stuff starts to build up, and eventually if you wear these for too long, you'll start to have breakouts on your face, and you won't know why. And then you realize, oh my god, my goggles are super dirty. And also on the bottom you have AV in and out in a one port right there. On the Sky Zones it has two separate ports for AV in and out, but they also do support AV in and out on the Sky Zones as well. So you can run out to an external, say, monitor if you wanted to let other people watch you flying your FPV, so they know you're not spying on their kid, which is kind of cool. People get excited when they actually see what you're actually doing instead of creeping on them with your scary black goggles, which is kind of cool. So I mentioned before that it has several different modes in here, and if you press the mode button you can switch back and forth between 2D standard FPV view with the flat screen and the 3D mode, and also the head tracking mode. So you can go to your head tracking mode, and once you plug this cable into your head tracking setup, most of us aren't using that, so it's not really super needed in the FPV community. But if you decide to do that, when you turn your head left and right, the camera moves with the goggles, which is really cool. So the motion sensors inside here will move with your head tracking data. And this is the case that comes along with them. It is nice because the goggles do fit in there. You will have to take the antennas off to fit them in there, and all of your accessories will fit in there as well. You get an extra piece of foam for the faceplate. It doesn't have any sticky back on it. They just Velcro right on and come right off. You also get an extra cable in here for audio in and audio out, video in and video out. So there you have it, guys. There's my opinion on the Aomway Commander V1S. I think they're probably one of the best binocular budget value pair of goggles out there, with a lot of the same bells and whistles that the more expensive $400 to $500 pair of goggles have, like the Sky Zone 03s. They're very comparable to the Sky Zone 03s. They feel a little bit lighter. They don't have a camera on the front of it like these do, but honestly most people don't need a camera on the front of their goggles, just making them more complicated with something else to go wrong on the goggles. So I think they're a great value. They have tons of functionality, but most of all, my Aomways have just lasted me for years, and my V1s still work, guys. I could take them out today and take them flying. But thanks again for watching my reviews, guys. I'm going to rate these at a pretty high rating, at about a 4.6 out of 5. So great job, Aomway. You did a really nice update to these. I really like the firmware update, the new built-in module, and everything they included with the V1S. So good job. I'm Justin Davis, guys. Take care, and thanks for watching my reviews. I'll see you on the next one.